middle class. The UAW and other large unions, they're rallying to get the president reelected, and you can see the welcome that he's receiving there this morning. Again, the president is going to be talking, and it seems like timing is everything, about the bailout, the auto bailout. And this is a big day in Michigan. A lot of eyes on what the president has to say, especially targeted to what he's unveiling today, later talking about enacting a fair trade policies worldwide, and also putting China in his sights to see if we can get that country to enact fair trade policies with the United States. Let's go ahead and listen in to President Obama speaking this morning.
How's it going, UAW? It is good to be with some auto workers today. All right, everybody have a seat. Get comfortable. Go ahead and get comfortable. I'm going to talk for a little bit. First of all, I want to say thank you to one of the finest leaders that we have in labor, Bob King. Give it up for Bob. I want to thank the International Executive Board and all of you for having me here today. It is a great honor. I brought along somebody who is proving to be one of the finest secretaries of transportation in our history. Ray LaHood is in the house. Give Ray a big round of applause. It is always an honor to spend time with folks who represent the working men and women of America. It's unions like yours that fought for jobs and opportunity for generations of American workers. It's unions like yours that helped build the arsenal of democracy, that defeated fascism and won World War II. It's unions like yours that forged the American middle class, that great engine of prosperity, the greatest that the world has ever known. So you guys helped to write the American story. And today you're busy writing a proud new chapter. You are reminding us that no matter how tough times get, Americans are tougher. No matter how many punches we take, we don't give up. We get up. We fight back. We move forward. We come out on the other side stronger than before. That's what you've shown us. You're showing us what's possible in America. So I'm here to tell you one thing today. You make me proud. You make me proud. Take a minute and think about what you and the workers and the families that you represent have fought through. So a few years ago, nearly 1 in 5 auto workers were handed a pink slip. 1 in 5. 400,000 jobs across this industry vanished the year before I took office. And then as the financial crisis hit with its full force, America faced a hard and once unimaginable reality that 2 of the big 3 automakers, GM and Chrysler, were on the brink of liquidation. The heartbeat of American manufacturing was flatlining, and we had to make a choice. With the economy in complete free fall, there were no private investors or companies out there willing to take a chance on the auto industry. That's right. Nobody was lining up to give you guys loans. That's right. Anyone in the financial sector can tell you that. So we could have kept giving billions of dollars of taxpayer dollars to automakers without demanding the real changes or accountability in return that were needed. That was one option. But that wouldn't have solved anything in the long term. Sooner or later, we would have run out of money. Could have just kicked the problem down the road. The other option was to do absolutely nothing and let these companies fail. And you will recall there were some politicians who said we should do that. Some even said we should let Detroit go bankrupt. You remember that? You know? Think about what that choice would have meant for this country. If we had turned our backs on you, if America had thrown in the towel, if GM and Chrysler had gone under, the suppliers, the distributors that get their business from these companies, they would have died off. Then even Ford could have gone down as well. Production shut down. Factories shuttered. Once proud companies chopped up and sold off for scraps. And all of you, the men and women who built these companies with your own hands, would have been hung out to dry. More than 1 million Americans across the country would have lost their jobs in the middle of the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. In communities across the Midwest, it would have been another Great Depression. And then think about all the people who depend on you. Not just your families, but the school teachers, the small business owners, the server in the diner who knows your order, the bartender who's waiting for you to get off. That's right. Their livelihoods were at stake as well. And you know what was else at stake? How many of you who've worked the assembly line had a father or a grandfather or a mother who worked on that same line? How many of you have sons and daughters who said, you know, Mom, Dad, I'd like to work at the plant too? These jobs are worth more than just a paycheck. They're a source of pride. They're a ticket to a middle-class life. They make it possible for you to own a home and raise kids and maybe send them, yes, to college. Give you a chance to retire with some dignity and some respect. These companies are worth more than just the cars they build. They're a symbol of American innovation and know-how. They're the source of our manufacturing might. If that's not worth fighting for, what's worth fighting for? So no, we were not going to take a knee and do nothing. We were not going to give up on your jobs and your families and your communities. So in exchange for help, we demanded responsibility. We said to the auto industry, you're going to have to truly change, not just pretend like you're changing. And thanks to outstanding leadership like Bob King, we were able to get labor and management to settle their differences. We got the industry to retool and restructure, and everybody involved made sacrifices. Everybody had some skin in the game. And it wasn't popular. And it wasn't what I ran for president to do. That wasn't originally what I thought I was going to be doing as president. But you know what? I did run to make the tough calls and do the right things, no matter what the politics were. You to know, you know why I knew this rescue would succeed? You want to know? It wasn't because of anything the government did. It wasn't just because of anything management did. It was because I believed in you. I placed my bet on the American worker, and I'll make that bet any day of the week. And now, 3 years later, that bet is paying off. Not just paying off for you, it's paying off for America. 3 years later, the American auto industry is back. GM is back on top as the #1 automaker in the world. profits in its 100-year history. Chrysler is growing faster in America than any other car company. Ford is investing billions in American plants, American factories, plans to bring thousands of jobs back to America. All told, the entire industry has added more than 200,000 new jobs over the past 2.5 years. 200,000 new jobs. And here's the best part. You're not just building cars again. You're building better cars. After 3 decades of inaction, we're gradually putting in place the toughest fuel economy standards in history for our cars and pickups. That means the cars you build will average nearly 55 miles per gallon by the middle of next decade, almost double what they get today. That means, folks, every time they fill up, they're going to be saving money. They'll have to fill up every 2 weeks instead of every week. That saves the typical family more than $8,000 at the pump over time. That means we'll cut our oil consumption by more than 2 million barrels a day. That means we have to import less oil while we're selling more cars all around the world. Thanks to the bipartisan trade agreement I signed into law, with you in mind, working with you, there will soon be new cars in the streets of South Korea imported from Detroit and from Toledo and from Chicago. And today, I talked about this at the State of the Union. We are doing it today. I am creating a trade enforcement unit that will bring the full resources of the federal government to bear on investigations, and we're going to counter any unfair trading practices around the world, including by countries like China. America has the best workers in the world. When the playing field is level, nobody will beat us, and we're going to make sure that playing field is level. Because America always wins when the playing field is level. That's right. And because everyone came together and worked together. The most high-tech, fuel-efficient, good-looking cars in the world are once again designed and engineered and forged and built, not in Europe, not in Asia, right here in the United States of America. I've seen them myself. I've seen them myself. I've seen it at Chrysler's Jefferson North plant in Detroit, where a new shift of more than 1,000 workers came on 2 years ago, another 1,000 slated to come on next year. That's right. I've seen it in my hometown at Fort Chicago Assembly, where workers are building a new Explorer and selling it to dozens of countries around the world. There you go. I've seen it at GM's Lordstown plant in Ohio, where workers got their jobs back to build the Chevy Cobalt. At GM's Hamtramck plant in Detroit, where I got to get inside a brand new Chevy Volt fresh off the line, even though Secret Service wouldn't let me drive it. But I like sitting in it. It was nice. I'll bet it drives real good. And 5 years from now, when I'm not president anymore, I'll buy one and drive it myself.